station of Fox Sports.
We are Blackmore. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by Bell Tire. Tigers ace Justin Verlander has been on a roll. In his last 4 starts, he's won all 4 of them, and he's averaging almost 11 and a half strikeouts per 9 innings. Must-see JV on display again here today as we welcome you to Kansas City. Third and final game of the series featuring the Detroit Tigers and the Kansas City Royals. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Kendall, Ron Allen. We are glad to have you with us for the series finale here today. And really, right after a couple of really close games, you got Verlander and Shields going today. We expect another close one, but for JV, he has owned KC.
Oh, no doubt about that. And he's also learned a couple different pitches. Since he's come to the big leagues in 2006, he's mastered that real good curveball, also learned a slider a couple of years ago, and that's why he has mastered this Kansas City Royals offense to the tune of a 15-2 record, a 2.67 earned run average, nearly 4-1 as far as the strikeouts to walks ratio, and they're only hitting .230 against the Tigers' ace. Should be an outstanding baseball game this afternoon.
The other half of the pitching matchup has James Shields for the Royals, and Shields, by and large, has really good numbers this year. The wins and losses not so good. They just haven't gotten them any runs.
You know, these two guys are cut from the same cloth. That would be Verlander and Shields. Both guys, 6 consecutive years, 200 or more innings pitched. Shields just not getting any run support whatsoever. 94 with his fastball. He's got that Bugs Bunny changeup, real nice spike curveball, and he's really a leader on and off the field.
All right, now as good as Shields is, there is a quartet of Tigers that have done good work against Shields over the years, and all 4 of them in the lineup today.
You know, I talked to Torrey Hunter today down in the clubhouse, and I actually sat with Torrey, and he was watching some video of every last one of his at-bats against James Shields in his career. And you see Torrey with a .333 batting average, and there's that guy again, Miguel Cabrera, with a .467 against Shields, which kind of validates how special Miguel is. Martinez and also Peralta show up on the list themselves.
All right, it's a hot and steamy day here in KC today as we wrap up the series. After a short break, we'll send you back to the Call Sam Studios in Ryan Field. But coming up in this one here today, it is the series finale. The Tigers and Royals getting together in KC. Stay with us. All the action next on Fox Sports Detroit. Welcome back to Kansas City. Today the Tigers try and win this series here against the Royals, and it's going to be a hot one here this afternoon in KC. 91 degrees our game time temperature. It feels like 95, so the Tigers and Royals will have to do it with intense heat here today. Well, in today's game we are participating in the Home Run Challenge. Every home run this game raises $12,000 for prostate cancer research. You can make a pledge by going online to the homerunchallenege.org, and so far 30 home runs have been hit. $350,000 has been raised. Check out the starting lineups for the Tigers first today. The Tigers presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. It'll be Abisail Garcia leading it off. He'll play in center field, followed by Torrey Hunter. Then Miguel Cabrera. You've got Prince Fielder batting cleanup. Victor Martinez, the DH. Peralta, the shortstop, and a bottom three of Tuiasosopo, Pena, and Santiago. And they are facing the right-hander James Shields.
James Shields has not won a game since April 30th when he went up against his former club, the Tampa Bay Rays. But his numbers are outstanding as far as the earned run average. 2.81, just 2 wins, 6 losses, 84 strikeouts in 24 walks. Big fastball, real good changeup, and a real nice spike curveball. Tim Hortons will sponsor the defensive alignment for the Kansas City Royals this afternoon. In the outfield, they have Gordon, Kane, and Lowe. They have Moustakas, Escobar, Johnson, Hosmer in the infield, and Salvador Perez is catching his 3rd consecutive day, but I guess he's a young man.
He can do it, no problem. We have a new second baseman today for the Royals. It'll be Elliot Johnson who gets the call out there at second base in place of Chris Getz. Everybody else pretty much the same from the first 2 games in this series. I want to remind you, you can vote for your Tigers McDonald's Player of the Game, presented by the new Detroit Tigers M&M McFlurry. Only in McDonald's. Using your cell phone, text Tigers, then a space, and then the player's uniform number to 37338. Or if you'd like, you can vote online at foxsportsdetroit.com. So the Tigers try to take 2 out of 3 here in KC before they head to Minnesota. The ball club has an off day tomorrow. And then Minnesota 3-game series over the weekend. But some business to take care of here today is Abisail Garcia strolls to the plate. He is in the leadoff slot today for the Tigers. And Jim Leyland has decided to go with a couple of right-handed bats in Tuiasosopo and Garcia, even though Shields is a right-handed pitcher.
And right-handers hitting .273 this season against James Shields, while left-handers are hitting below .200 against him. So I'm sure that's the reason why Jim Leyland has elected to go with Garcia and Tuiasosopo this afternoon.
So it'll be Garcia, Hunter, and Cabrera here in the first inning. On a very warm and humid afternoon in Kansas City as Garcia settles into the batter's box.
It is also Garcia's 22nd birthday today.
Really?
Yes, it is.
Happy birthday, young man. How about celebrating it with a base hit or 2? Here's the first pitch of the ball game. It's a strike called on Garcia. Garcia making his first start in the leadoff slot. He is batted 8th or 9th pretty much. There's a line drive to right field. On the move is Lowe, not going to get it. It'll go up against the wall. Garcia hits the bag at second. He'll stop there, and it's a birthday double for Abisail Garcia. Good start.
When James Shields has had issues this year, they have been in the very first inning, but after that he is a shutdown pitcher. But he's no different than most really good pitchers. If you're going to get them, you have to get them really early.
And the Tigers trying to do just that. They have a leadoff double, the 3rd of the season for Garcia. And now Shields will face Torrey Hunter, who stands in. 2 out of 9 in the series for Torrey. And he drops down a bunt right back to the mound. There's only one play. Hunter is out, but advance Garcia to third base.
It's a real nice job by Torrey Hunter, knowing how difficult it may have been to do the job by hitting a ground ball to the right side of the infield because of the power sinker and good changeups down and into the right-hander from Shields. He elects to put the bunt down to get Miguel Cabrera to the plate, the best hitter in the game as we speak, and tremendous numbers against James Shields.
2 out of 6 in the series for Cabrera, and he looks at ball 1 outside.
Miguel goes 467 against James Shields with a home run. 14 for 30 against the Royals right-hander.
James Shields has been one of your better pitchers in the American League the last 5-6 years, but Miguel hitting nearly 500 against him.
Tigers in this series have struggled to get the runs in. 2 for 13 with men in scoring position. They were 1 for 8 last night, but won the ball game. And Cabrera takes it down low, and now Shields has fallen behind 3-0.
Ned Yost is playing his infield halfway depth. It should Miguel hit something on the ground, they want to force the issue at third base with Garcia and Tom Brookins, the third base coach, into making a decision whether to come or stay.
Swinging on 3-0, and he fouled it back 3-1.
Ned Yost basically pitched around Cabrera in the 6th inning, after the 6th inning in yesterday's game, and wouldn't be shocked if Shields decided to give Miguel a free pass here to get to Prince Fielder.
Fielder hit into a double play early in the game last night. He is lurking on deck. There's the 3-1. Fouled straight back. 3-2 now on Cabrera. 69 RBIs for Miguel. 363 batting average, leads the American League. Tigers in search of the early run here today. And the 3-2. Cabrera takes ball 4. It's going to be a walk.
Really close take there by Miggy. Could have been called a strike.
David Demuth, the home plate umpire, took a long look at it but ruled it a ball. Well, he hit the glove just off the inside part of the plate. So here is Fielder. Prince batting .282. He's had only 1 hit in this series, 1 for 9. He fouls that one off 0-1. Royals pitching by and large has done a really good job against Cabrera and Fielder. Now Miguel had the 2-run homer in the first game of the series, but they are 3 for 15 combined. Garcia, Cabrera, the base runners, with 1 out of the first. And Prince takes outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And really good pitching always slows down really good hitting, in the Kansas City Royals sit atop the American League as far as the earned run average is concerned at 3.48.
Tigers finally got to their bullpen last night with a big run late. Just lifted back out of play. One ball, 2 strikes on Prince Fielder.
Really no secret what Shields tries to accomplish against left-handed batters, especially after he gets 2 strikes. He likes to go to that changeup that fades down and away. It's a matter now of Prince Fielder making sure he gets that ball up.
And the 1-2. Up and away, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Shields has not had a win since April 30th. Think about that. He has had 4 losses, 3 no decisions, but in the 7 starts between then and now, he has given up 2 runs or fewer in 6 of the 7, which means they are not getting him any offense. And that is fouled off. Prince stays alive. So the record does not match the ERA.
And he knows runs are going to be at a premium here today with Justin Verlander towing the rubber for the Tigers. And he can't give up too many and expect to win.
Martinez waiting on deck. Tigers get a leadoff double from Garcia. He is bunted up to third base, and then Cabrera walked. Little looper back a short. It's going to drop, base hit. That'll get a run in. Fielder goes the other way, and the Tigers have a 1-0 lead. '52nd RBI for Prince.
And not a bad pitch there by James Shields. Appeared to be a cut fastball at about 87, but Prince stays with it and does just enough to get it over the head of the shortstop Escobar.
So here is Victor Martinez as Fielder makes it 1-0. Still only 1 out of the inning. Tigers have taken the lead now in each of the games in this series. The Cabrera home run on first game on Monday. There's a strike call.
As good as James Shields is, there are a quartet of Tigers that have good numbers against him. Hunter would be one, and Miggy, Peralta in the guy standing in the batter's box right now, and Victor Martinez.
Victor in the series 1 out of 7. 2 on 1 out. Foul back. No balls, 2 strikes. Well, Victor has really started to show some signs, despite the fact that he's just 1 for 7 in the series. These are his numbers against Shields. But in his last 21 overall, he's hitting over 300. And for most of the first 2 months of the year, Martinez was at around the 200 level in the batting average. Here's the 0-2. High and away, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Victor 12 RBIs in his last 21 games. Tigers would like to build a little bit of a lead here with Verlander on the hill today. Justin has been so dominant against the Royals in his career. And the 1-2. Slow roller hit towards short. Looks like a double play. 6-4-3. That'll end the inning, and the Tigers settle for 1 run. We'll head to the bottom of the first. 1-0 Detroit. And he is presented today by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
And Justin Verlander checks in with 8 wins and 4 losses. Of course, he brings that big fastball with him every time he toes the rubber. He'll get up to 99 miles an hour when he wants to. Also, real good secondary pitches, curveball, slider, and an outstanding changeup.
Here's the starting lineup for the Royals today, presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. It'll be Alex Gordon leading it off in left field, followed by Eric Hosmer. And then Salvador Perez. Billy Butler is the DH and the cleanup man. Then Lorenzo Cain and David Lowe, and a bottom 3 of Moustakas, Elliott Johnson, and Alcides Escobar. Alex Gordon batting .304 has been in a bit of a slump for the Royals. Just 3 for his last 26. We're going to try and get it started here against Verlander. Justin in search of his 9th win here on the season. And his first pitch is low and away, 1-0. Gordon with 6 home runs this year. He's knocked in 32. Verlander's 1-0. Lifted in the air, shallow right field. And Santiago heading back out there to make the catch. 1 gone.
Take a look at the Tigers starting defense behind Justin Verlander this afternoon. In the outfield, you have Tuiasa Sopo, Garcia, and Torrey Hunter. And the infield left to right reads Cabrera, Peralta, Santiago, and the Prince over at first, and Brian Pena, the former Royal, getting the nod behind the plate this afternoon.
Here is Eric Hosmer. Hosmer in the series 1 for 8. He had his 5-game hitting streak ended in last night's ball game. And we talked about his lack of power this year. Just 1 home run this season and 20 RBIs. Here's the 0-1. Ball high, 1 ball, 1 strike. And at this point in the season, based on what he had done, especially in that rookie year, you would expect bigger power numbers. Only 12 extra base hits so far this year. 1-1 is a big swing there. 1-2. Hosmer batting in the 2 spot these days. Not a whole lot of luck against Verlander. 174 with 5 strikeouts. 6 strikeouts as down he goes with the swing and a miss. 2 gone.
And a good breaking ball here by Justin Verlander to get Hosmer to chase it down in the zone.
That'll bring up Salvador Perez. Verlander has won his last 4 straight starts. Wins over Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and Cleveland again. Line to center field. Garcia comes on to make the catch, and it's a very snappy 1-2-3 inning for Justin Verlander. On our way to the 2nd here in Kansas City. Still 1-0 Detroit. Bank of America Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. Ram trucks engineered to move heaven and earth. Guts, glory, Ram. And by Dan and Oikos and Stonyfield Yogurt. Dan and Oikos Greek yogurt, too delicious to be nutritious. Back here in Kansas City on a warm, humid afternoon. Somewhat windy as well here at the ballpark. Tigers on top by a run as we go to the top of the 2nd. Johnny Peralta leads it off for Detroit. Peralta, Tuiasa Sopo. And then Pena. The first pitch is skied a mile high to right field. David Lowe has it settle into the glove for 1 gone. Leadoff man retired by Shields. Bring up Matt Tuiasosopo. Well, Jim said that he wanted to get Tuiasosopo in a game in this series, and today is the day against Shields. He will also play against the Minnesota Twins coming up in that series in Minnesota against Scott Diamond on Friday. There's ball one to Tuiasosopo.
And speaking of that series in Minnesota, Sanchez threw a bullpen today, and it all went well, and he is scheduled to make his next start after missing his last start with some discomfort in his right shoulder.
Well, that was the hope, and fortunately it looks like he will only miss that one start, but what a fill-in job by Jose Alvarez.
Oh, he was legit.
Here's the 1-1. 2 balls, 1 strike on Tuiasosopo. Matt is 5 for his last 10. Now Shields with the 2-1. And it's lined and caught at first base by Hosmer.
That's a real nice play, because that ball was headed down into that right field corner, and it would have been a double, possible triple for Tuiasosopo. They've got some guys on the corner infield here in Kansas City that can really catch the baseball. That would be Moustakas and also Hosmer, but neither guy really getting it done right now from an offensive standpoint.
That ball had double written all over it. The numbers on Hosmer defensively. Here's Brian Pena with 2 outs. And a strike called on the former Royal who spent the last 4 seasons here in KC. And really, Brian, his entire career has been a backup to some veteran catchers. He backed up a young catcher in Perez last year. Ball inside.
And very well liked while he played here for Kansas City, and you can see why. He has been in a Tigers uniform for just a couple of months, and he is a tremendous young man.
Here's the 1-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. Pena, in his days here in KC, hit .251 combined in his 4 years here. He also spent 4 years in Atlanta, where he broke in. Now the 2-1 pitch. Ripped down the right field line, going to go foul.
Shields features a few different fastballs, 2s and 4s. He'll also cut the fastball. And we've talked about that spike curveball he features, but his best pitch, his signature pitch, is that changeup, fading down and away from the left-handers, down and into the right-handed batters.
Pena yanked his bat back as if to say, nope, I didn't go. And he didn't. 3-2. Clearly outside. 3-2 pitch. Rolled on the ground to second base, right at Elliott Johnson. And Shields has a much better second, a 1-2-3 frame for the Royals. Lead 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the second here in Kansas City, and it's time now for the Farmers Insurance report card for this one here this afternoon. It involves Justin Verlander, the Tigers rotation. In particular, the rotation this season, 35 games with at least 7 strikeouts, which is the most by any team in the first 63 games of a season in the history of Major League Baseball. Wow. And so that's why the Tigers have been racking up a lot of strikeouts. They have guys like Verlander and Scherzer and Sanchez.
When the season began, there were a lot of experts out there that mentioned the Tigers in the same sentence when the question was asked which team had the best rotation in the game.
There's Billy Butler, and he looks at a strike. By and large, the Tigers staff has been great. A quality start now in 17 of the last 18. Here's the 0-1.
Billy Butler has a .418 career batting average against the Tigers ace in 55 career bats. So that kind of tells you everything you need to know about Billy Butler.
He has also hit a couple of home runs against Verlander over the years.
And Billy blew a little mini gasket in last night's game. He was kicked out on a pitch that was called a strike that appeared to be a ball in the 9th inning. And he didn't appreciate it.
Here's the 1-2. That one missed 2-2. Well, it was a big play because the Tigers were really in trouble. They had a 1-run lead. Valverde gave up a single and a steal, and Butler was up there, and that turned out to be the first out.
Oh, Valverde had him all the way.
Oh, did he? I'm glad you knew it, because most of us didn't. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Broken bat, foul down the third base line.
Billy Butler hit for a lot of power last year. Career numbers as far as the home runs were concerned. Drove in 100 runs, made his first All-Star team, but numbers are down this year. Just 5 homers, 34 ribbies, hitting .268. Billy is one of those guys that usually equates with a .300 batting average.
Well, he certainly has done that against the Tigers over the years. .331 career against Detroit pitching. Trying to get something started here in the second. Tigers on top 1-0. Here's the 2-2. And again, back out of play.
And Butler always gets himself in a really good hitting position as far as the lower half is concerned. He's got a little toe tap that kind of gets him to that power position, and he's got really good hand-eye coordination.
Pulled towards short. Nice play by Peralta. He'll throw to first high and throw it away. But will carry him right back to Prince Fielder. Peralta with a great stab, but he just couldn't complete the play.
And he's very fortunate that ball did not go into the stands, or he would have been given an error. He just couldn't get up. I mean, he gets over, makes the play, and just couldn't really get up to make the play. Then he throws from an angle where the arm drops, and he just airmailed Prince Fielder. Another hit for Billy Butler.
Leadoff single here in the second. We'll bring up Lorenzo Cain. And Cain takes strike one. Modest 4-game hitting streak came to an end last night. Lorenzo batting .286, couple of home runs this year. He's had an RBI in the series. And as the script would tell us, this would be a close series, and it has been so far. Way inside, backed him out of there. Tigers held on for a 1-run win in the ball game last night. The Royals won by a run in game 1. These two teams seemingly wouldn't have it any other way. The 1-1 pitch. 2 balls, 1 strike on Lorenzo Cain. They keep stats, obviously splits between day games and night games, and Cain really performs well during the day. .387 batting average during day games. The 2-1. Back out of play, 2-2 on Cain. Butler aboard on a leadoff single here in the second. 1-0. Tigers got a run in the first. RBI single by Prince Fielder. High and away, and the count fills now 3-2. That's Verlander fastball at 95.
And Justin usually does not throw 95 in the first couple of innings. He kind of starts out at 89 to 91. He always has that big fastball in reserve when he chooses to go to it.
Oh, what a pitch there for strike three. Kane knew it and simply walks out of the box.
And that's what separates Justin Verlander from most power pitches, is the fact that in a 3-2 count, he has enough confidence to go to a slider and throw the slider right over the heart of the plate.
There's David Lowe. Home run in last night's ball game was his first major league homer. He came off of Max Scherzer. And that's in for strike one. Lowe getting some reps out in right field, is batting .279. He's had a couple of hits in the series. And was really performing well down at Omaha this year. Their AAA team batting .340 when he was called up May 16th. Fouled away.
Now here's that home run last night. He got himself a changeup from Max and got underneath it and hit it about 380 feet from home plate.
And the 0-2. Pulled down the right field line, foul.
Speaking of Max, how about him last night, running his record to 9-0? Only gave up 3 hits, pitching 7 innings. In very hot weather last night, Max had to change jerseys 3 times in that contest last night.
Well, if he wins his next start or goes to 10-0 at any point, he would be the first Tiger to go to 10-0 to start of the year since at least 1916.
A couple more real good starts by Max, and he might just start the All-Star game this year.
Grounded foul.
And if he doesn't start it, he'll be the second one out of that bullpen for Jim Leyland, who will manage the American League squad.
It'll be Leland's decision as to who starts that game, and certainly he would love to have his own pitcher have that honor, but Leland has said over and over, I've got to be fair, and I certainly want to be as fair as I can to everybody involved.
And he could always grease Leland's pockets with a couple of sleeves of golf balls. Might help him out.
Is that legal? Here's the 0-2. Strike called. He got him looking, and Lowe is out of there.
And we just watched Kane get punched out on a slider, and here's a breaking ball from Justin Verlander. And he appears to have all of his pitches working. For those of you that don't know, Justin Verlander uses no seams when throwing his curveball. Does not like to use the seams, but still gets this kind of tilt on the curveball when he features it. It's unheard of. Most guys need the seams to give them the grip to get the good break on the curveball.
So here is Moustakas with 2 outs. Verlander now has struck out 3 in this game. Ball 1 to Moustakas. JV this year has gone double-digit strikeouts twice, 12 against Seattle, 13 against Pittsburgh. It's been a rough start for Moustakas, only 182. And career against Verlander, 143. Here's the 1-0. 2 balls, no strikes on the Royals' third baseman.
Well, because of the numbers of Moustakas and Hosmer and the corner infielders for the Royals, they reassigned their hitting coach Jack Maloof to the minors, and they were able to talk George Brett, the Hall of Famer, out of the upstairs booth to come down and to be the hitting coach.
He'd be much cooler right now had he stayed in the booth upstairs. But he's giving it a shot. The hitting instructor, new hitting coach for the Royals. 2 balls, 1 strike. His number 5 is displayed prominently here at Kauffman Stadium.
Only a couple numbers retired here.
Ooh, look out, there goes the bat. Swing and a miss. 2-2. Moustakas launched his bat that time.
It appears that Justin has a real good feel for the secondary pitches here in the first couple of innings, whether it be the slider, the curveball, or the changeup. And he throws all of those pitches out of the same window with the same arm speed. As a hitter, very difficult to pick up what pitches Verlander is featuring.
It'll go foul down the first base line. We talked about the wind a little bit earlier today, and it is causing havoc with some of our cameras here because of the waterfalls out there in the outfield. Any type of wind, and all of a sudden your lens will be covered with water. Here's the 2-2 again, and it's hit in the air. Shallow right field. Torrey Hunter coming on. And that'll be it for the Royals. They get a leadoff single from Billy Butler. No damage done. We go to the third. Third and time off the Bernstein advantage. Scouting report on James Shields. Get the Bernstein advantage. We go to bat for you when you compare Shields' numbers to back in 2011 when he was third in the Cy Young voting. Here's how he compares this year. Very good ERA. In fact, it's better this season. And the strikeouts per 9 are right there as well. So Shields goes to work facing Santiago here in the third. Santiago, then Garcia, then Hunter. Tigers got a run in the first on a single by Fielder to drive in a run. Here's the 1-0. Ramon loops one down the left field line. That is going to drop. Base hit right in front of Gordon. And the Tigers get the leadoff man on for the second time in 3 innings today.
Yeah, fastball up in the zone. Santiago doesn't hit it very hard. He's late on that fastball, but Gordon, even though he's very good in left field, he wasn't playing that shallow.
Shields now has surrendered 3 hits. That'll bring up Garcia. He started the game with a double and then scored a run. Ball low and away, 1-0. Garcia does not grade out as your prototypical leadoff man, but Jim Leyland has him there today as the Tigers still await the return of Austin Jackson, and the hope is that it'll be sometime in the Minnesota series. Andy Dirks have been getting the bulk of the leadoff opportunities. Garcia does give you a little bit of speed at the top of that lineup. His on-base percentage has been pretty good this year.
His skill set overall is pretty good. He's going to be a really good big league player.
Shields last year threw 227 innings in his final season with the Rays. That was the third most in the American League. Here's the 1-0. And James is a guy that'll give you 200 every single season, it appears. In fact, he's gone 6 straight years of reaching that plateau.
Yeah, both of these pitchers today cut from the same cloth. And Justin Verlander also 6 straight years with 200 or more innings.
Shields, 31 years old, born in Newhall, California. Here's the 2-0. Popped up foul, back out of play. 2 balls, 1 strike. Garcia has also done really well with men in scoring position this year, 316. So look at the ratio on Shields. Not all that good early on here, although he had a 1-2-3 second. Walked a batter in the first and was fortunate to get a double play in that first inning. And the 2-1. Garcia hits a ground ball to second. This might be another one. 6-4-3. Second double play knocked into by the Tigers in this one. And both of them have gone Escobar to Johnson to Hosmer.
Escobar, real good defender at that shortstop position, grabs it, gives a really nice feed to Johnson, and Johnson, it takes very little time getting its ball back on the way to first base.
There's Torrey, who sacrificed in the first inning. Came in 333 against Shields. Here's the 1-0. It hit him. Boy, Hunter was hit in Pittsburgh on that left elbow, and that time Shields came up and in and drilled him.
I was talking to Torrey in the clubhouse before the game, and he was actually watching some video on Shields on his iPad, and he was watching all of his at-bats lately against Shields, and he says, I know what he's going to do. He's going to come inside with that 2-seam fastball. He's going to throw me that changeup inside as well, but he didn't expect to get hit by that 2-seam fastball inside.
Well, now Shields has to deal with Cabrera. And Miguel had a base on balls in the first inning. Oh, that was close. Quick tag down there by Hosmer as well.
Real quick feet there by Shields.
Rolled foul off the bat of Cabrera. 0-1. Off his foot, so he'll take an extra beat. Tigers a run on 3 hits. Royals no runs, 1 hit. We're in the top of the third. Torrey at first base after being hit by the pitch draws another throw. Well, Shields not only has those quick feet and gets it to Hosmer in a hurry, but he puts it in the perfect spot.
25 career picks, only 1 this year.
Low and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's getting to the point now that you don't even have to watch video on the opposing pitcher on the TV screens. You can just dial it up on your iPad now, which a lot of players do.
That's right.
Get your own individual at bats against a certain pitcher. Here's the 1-1. Fly ball hit well right field. Lowe is on the move, dives and makes the catch and flips. Did he hold on? He did not. Oh, they're calling it an out. He held on to the baseball. Those are his glasses out there on the warning track. What a play by David Lowe, taking extra bases and an RBI away from Miguel Cabrera.
With Miguel Cabrera hitting a seed in the right center field, he gets a really good jump. The first step is awfully quick, and he's able to run it down with a dive. And under the circumstances, a huge play with Verlander appearing to be very stingy on the mound this afternoon for the Tigers. Torrey Hunter would have scored on that ball, and the Royals would be trailing 2-0. So a fine play by Lowe.
And Verlander still has the 1-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the third now here in KC. And Verlander goes back to work facing Elliott Johnson. Then Alcides Escobar and Alex Gordon. Only 1 hit allowed so far for Justin. An infield single by Billy Butler. He has 3 strikeouts to this point. Here's the 1-0. Foul tip into the glove. 1 ball, 1 strike. Johnson at 225 is mired in a 2-for-28 slump.
9 steals this year for Johnson. Hasn't been caught yet. That's why Ned Yost has him in there today, hoping he can get on base and wreak a little havoc on Tigers ace Verlander.
Getting on base has been an issue.
For most guys when Verlander's on the mound.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. 2-2. Johnson was the player to be named later in that big deal that the Rays and the Royals pulled off in the offseason, bringing Shields and Wade Davis over here. Here's the 2-2. Foul back to the screen. Johnson has 4 RBIs this year. And the 2-2 lifted back out of play. Johnson is an interesting story. He went undrafted out of high school, undrafted out of college as well, went to Mesa Community College and was signed as a free agent by the Tampa Bay Rays. And here he is in the big leagues. Here's the 2-2, and he fouls it off. get into the minor league system, professional baseball, and you are not drafted, especially drafted very highly, you really have some odds to overcome. And as a non-drafted free agent, Johnson overcame those odds. Verlander again with a 2-2, and it's again spoiled. Escobar to follow, and then Alex Gordon. Pitch number 9 in this at bat coming up. And it's rolled to the right side slowly. Santiago charging. Quick flip. He just got it. One away. While we have a moment, back to the studio we go for a game break. Shannon Hogan. All right, Shannon, thanks. Well, the Angels came in 11.5 back behind Texas and Oakland in the West. There's a check swing strike on Alcides Escobar. Baltimore 2.5 back in the American League East. Oakland has officially caught the Texas Rangers, tied up in the American League West. Broken bat, little pop up, and Santiago makes a nice play out in short center field.
He's made a couple of nice plays. And that play that he made off the bat of Elliott Johnson, with all that speed that Johnson had, he had to shuffle that ball to Prince Fielder in a hurry, and then he goes back in shallow center field and takes a single away from Escobar. That is the one thing that Santiago brings every night, and that's a real good glove, whether he's playing second base or shortstop. He's really steady.
Verlander appreciates the effort. Here comes Gordon now with 2 outs. Popped up back in the first inning. Showing bunt. This has really been a home away from home for Justin Verlander here at Kauffman Stadium. His numbers are awfully good. 9-2. 2.5 ERA. Here's the 0-1.
Here's the first play that Santiago made of the inning. He grabs it with the glove and then he shuffles it to Prince Fielder rather aggressively, because Johnson can really pick him up and put him down.
Now the 1-1. 2-1 on Gordon. Gordon last night picked up his 7th assist. Here's the 2-1 pitch. 3 balls, 1 strike. Gordon now has won back-to-back Gold Gloves. Ever since the position shift brought him from the infield to the outfield, numbers offensively have gone way up. Here's the 3-1. And he lost it, ball 4.
I talked to Rusty Kuntz, who was the first base coach for the Kansas City Royals and also worked with the outfielders. I asked him what makes Gordon so special in the outfield and why does he get so many assists. And he told me it's the fact that he played in the infield growing up. He played in the infield in the Royals organization when he first signed, and he has a really quick release because of that and very accurate throwing arm. Therefore, he racks up tons of assists.
It has served him well. He's aboard here with 2 outs. Verlander has given up his first walk of the game. That leaves it up to, or brings it up, to Eric Hosmer now, who struck out in the first inning.
Rusty Kuntz, one of the nicest men you'll meet in this game.
Ball 1 outside. Hosmer now 1 for 9 in the series. Played on the World Baseball Classic team this year. In fact, he replaced Mark Teixeira, who is injured. Fouled straight back.
And there were many that were wondering why Prince Fielder didn't get that call after Teixeira went down. but it was Hosmer that replaced Mark.
Finalist for a Gold Glove last year, Hosmer. Got a couple of guys in their infield. Moustakas was as well a finalist. Got the Gold Glover out and lefty Gordon. The kid at short in Escobar, they can really play that position. Perez behind the plate. Got some good young talent here. It's just a matter of hitting is right. I mean, it's plain and simple. They got to hit. Royals dead last in home runs. That's in the major leagues, not just the American League. There's the 1-1. There's a strike 1 and 2. Hosmer with a look back for Dana DeMuth. 1 and 2 the count. JV had that 24 pitch second after a really quick first. Runner goes, swing and a miss. Hosmer down on strikes. He fans for the second time of the game. JV now with 4 strikeouts. He gets through the third with a little bit of help from Ramon Santiago. Is brought to you by Arby's. Try Arby's new Market Fresh Turkey Bacon Florentine Sandwich. Arby's, slicing up freshness. And by Bell Tire. Get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. Back here in Kansas City, where it's 1-0 in favor of the Tigers here. James Shields back to the hill. It'll be Fielder Martinez and Johnny Peralta. Tigers have a run on 3 hits. The Royals, no runs, 1 hit. Prince had the RBI single in the first. That is the difference in this game. 52 RBIs now for Prince. Here's the 1-0. 2 balls, no strikes. In the air toward left. Gordon has a play on this one. A little sidewinder there on the left field line to make the play. 1 gone. Hey, Friday, June 21st, the Tigers battle the Red Sox at 7:08. All fans are invited to stick around, enjoy a fabulous postgame fireworks display. If you'd like ticket information, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. Friday, June 21st. Be there. Here's Victor Martinez. He knocked into one of two double plays the Tigers have bounced into today. Garcia's hit into the other. In for strike one, 0-1 on Victor. Shields was a double-digit winner each of his last 6 seasons with the Tampa Bay Rays. It's an organization that has cultivated so much starting pitching. 0-2 on Martinez.
He was quite the leader in Tampa. And not only on the field, but also off the field. Really good leadership skills shown by Shields while he wore the Tampa Bay uniform.
Third in the Cy Young voting back in 2011, which was one of his best, if not the best season he had there. That year he finished behind Justin Verlander, who of course won the MVP and the Cy Young that year, and Jared Weaver finished second. Weaver that season, or I should say Shields, had 11 complete games that year for the Rays.
It's pretty good company, Verlander, Weaver.
Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Big swing there by Martinez, 2 gone.
James Shields hasn't thrown nearly as many changeups here today as he usually throws. And I'm sure some of the Tigers hitters are still waiting for that changeup, and because of that, Victor a little tardy on that 93-mile-per-hour heater from James.
First strikeout of the afternoon for Shields. With 2 outs, here's Peralta. Kind of ducking out of the way, 1-0. Strikeout high this year for Shields was 9. He has done that a couple of times. Most recently in Oakland. Here's the 1-0. Checked it. 2 balls, no strikes. Did not go, says Paul Nart. That just popped straight up. Behind the plate, Perez giving a look, but it's headed back out of play about 3 rows deep. 2-1. Tigers at 36-27. Trying to get to 10 over the 500 mark. Trying to improve that road record, which right now stands at 14-17. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Make it 2-2 on Peralta. Here are the standings in the Central. The other thing to consider is that the Tigers have won 14 games this year within the division. Swing and a miss. And Peralta is out of there. It's going to be a 1-2-3 inning for Shields. His second strikeout of the ball game. 3.5 in the books. Still 1-0 Detroit. 7 on this day, June 12, 2007. Justin Verlander, no-hitter against the Milwaukee Brewers. Maglio catching the final out, the first of 2 no-hitters so far for JV.
And with that being said, here's today's high-speed stat brought to you by Charter Internet. Since the year 2000, interleague no-hitters. And we just talked about Verlander. Edwin Jackson, the former Tiger, also has one, and a couple of combined no-hitters by the Seattle Mariners and the Houston Astros.
So Verlander will go back to work here in the 4th, leading at 1-0. It'll be Perez, Butler, and Kane. These are the 3, 4, and 5 hitters for the Kansas City Royals. What a day for Verlander. Not only is it the anniversary of his no-hitter, but his younger brother Ben Verlander officially signed today. He is a Detroit Tiger. Will begin his career in the Tigers system. 14th round pick of the Tigers in this year's draft. So congratulations to Ben, signing his deal today.
A couple of guys in the ballpark here today that had a really good up-close look at that no-hitter that Verlander threw against Milwaukee. Ned Yost, the current manager of Kansas City, was a Milwaukee manager at that time.
Popped him up. Shallow center field. Garcia to Iasisopo. Garcia with the catch.
And Prince Fielder also was on that Milwaukee Brewers squad.
1 out. That'll bring up Billy Butler. Of course, they were on the wrong side of the no-hitter. JV would go on to throw one against the Toronto Blue Jays as well. That was the first of 2, and I'm willing to bet that before it's over, you'll see one, maybe a few more. JV almost had one this year. Had last year too. Was that was the Pirates game last year?
It was.
Yeah, and Houston this year.
And Josh Harris broke that no-hitter up.
Here's the 1-0 to Billy Butler. No surprise, Butler got another hit against Verlander. It was an infield single back of the 2nd. They couldn't score him, though.
That would be Harrison, not Harris.
And the 2-0. Well, 3-0. Lorenzo Cain waiting his turn on deck. 3-0 pitch. Butler taking down the middle. It comes 3-1. I think Butler, or Verlander I should say, thinks about Butler when he comes to the plate and all the success he's had against him.
Absolutely.
Here's the 3-1. 3-2.
What a pitch. Change piece. Tigers have a staff full of starters not afraid to throw the changeup to the right-handed batters. And you don't see it very often. And Billy's sitting on the fastball 3-1, which he should be, and was frozen on the changeup.
He's going to walk him anyway, as Butler gets a 1-out base on balls. Second walk for Verlander today.
Well, with the numbers that Butler has against Verlander, it's not all bad to put him on first base. One thing you do know, he's not going to steal second. And so the double play is still in order, but it has to be hit sharply because Lorenzo Cain, who is about to step in the batter's box, can really run.
Cain a strikeout victim back in the 2nd. And Verlander so far in this game with 4 punch-outs. Tigers have a run on 3 hits. Royals no runs, 1 hit. Fouled straight back, 0-1. Very hot and humid day here in Kansas City today. The temperature at game time was above 90.
Kids Day here at the ballpark today.
Yeah, they had to reschedule it because the original Kids Day was snowed out here.
How about that? One snowed out, and then you get 100-degree weather with the heat index.
No balls, 2 strikes.
Pretty nice crowd here today for the Kansas City Royals on a Wednesday afternoon.
I would agree with that. I know there were a lot of kids in the ballpark today, and they certainly were as we arrived at the ballpark. They got here early, but considering the temps, day game, pretty good gathering.
Last couple of nights, the crowds haven't been bad.
Ball low. You know, one of the best seats might be the standing room area out beyond center and right center where the fountains are going. And maybe if you get a breeze, you might get some of that mist coming your way.
Great point.
Otherwise, it's blazing hot. And that's pretty much what the weatherman has in store today. Here's the 1-2. Inside. He missed with a fastball. Now 2-2 on Lorenzo Cain. Driven left field. Ball is hooking, and it will go foul. Ooh, Cain just got out in front of that one. Otherwise, the Royals would have had the lead. Long, loud strike.
When a guy has a big fastball like Verlander that gets up into the upper 90s and the count is 2-2, you're looking for the fastball, and because of that, if you get the hanging breaking ball, you're going to be out in front of it, as Cain was.
Again down the left field line, and again it's foul. Didn't quite have the distance as the previous hit.
And Brian Pena going to take a jog out to the mound to talk to the Tigers ace to figure out exactly what he wants to throw on the next pitch and to make sure they're on the same page.
We're talking about Pena the other day and how Alex Avila has really helped him out quite a bit. Jeff Jones, the pitching coach, very diligent in the scouting reports, helping Pena coming over and learning the Tigers staff. Swing and a miss. He should have a pretty good working knowledge, though, of the Royals. It's 5 strikeouts now for JV.
He's got a couple of strikeouts on the slider today. That pitch is at 89 miles an hour. It disguised to look just like the fastball. Looks like it's right down the middle. You start your swing, and ever so slightly, that pitch just slides to the outside corner.
Here's David Lowe with 2 outs. Back out of play 0-1. Lowe down in the minor leagues this year had a 16-game hitting streak at Omaha. That was in the month of May. And he earned the call-up hitting .340. Royals are still without Gerard Dyson, their center fielder. Here's the 0-1. And it missed inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And Jeff Francoeur, their starting right fielder when the season began, struggling from an offensive standpoint. Therefore, and David Lowe getting most of those reps in right field. There's Frenchie.
He and Johnny Peralta have a little bit of a bond.
They sure do.
Francoeur has thrown him out on the base paths at least 3-4 times.
Great arm from right field. One of the best throwers in the game, Jeff Francoeur. Good guy, too.
Here's the 2-1. Outer edge. Fastball. 2-2. Royals really haven't had too many opportunities. Infield hit for Butler in the 3rd. 2-out walk for Gordon in the 3rd inning. The Butler hit was the 2nd. And now a walk here in the 4th. So really only 3 base runners against Justin. And the 2-2. Rolled right at first but foul. 72 now for Verlander. This is the third straight inning he's gone 20 or more. After that really quick 7-pitch first inning. Lowe sends a ground ball to second. Santiago will charge, and that'll end the inning. No runs, a walk, one left. 4 in the books here in KC. Tigers up by a run. Are looking at the Negro Leagues Museum here in KC, which leads us to our AT&T trivia question. Who won the first Negro League World Series? It was back in 1924, and we'd like to know who they defeated as well. Who won the first Negro League World Series?
If you ever get to Kansas City, it's a must to go to the Negro League Museum. Jackie Robinson, of course, played in the Negro Leagues before getting a chance to play for the Dodgers. Willie Mays, Hank Aaron also got their starts in the Negro Leagues.
Here come the Tigers now as we go to the 5th. It'll be Tuiasosopo leading it off, and he looks at strike one. Tuiasosopo, Pena, and Santiago. Shields back to work. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That missed inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Matt continues to swing the bat well. He hit a line drive his first time up that Hosmer made a leaping play on and saved a double. The 1-1. Pulled a third foul.
Really difficult to stay sharp in the major leagues when you're not getting consistent reps. But somehow Tuiasosopo has been able to do that. A .344 batting average and 61 at-bats coming into today.
And he looks at a ball that just missed outside. Run the count now to 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Everybody else in his family played football, and he chose baseball.
Here's the 2-2. Shattered bat. That's a fair ball down the left field line. Tuiasosopo is headed to second. Here comes Gordon's throw, not in time. It's a 2-base hit. Well, that's justice for the line drive that he hit first time up. That was an out. This is a broken bat double.
Hit that ball right off the end of the bat. He didn't take off right away, so he wasn't quite sure whether it was going to be fair or foul, and that almost cost him because Gordon in left field, as we have well documented, a really good arm from that position.
6 doubles now for Tuiasosopo, and Brian Pena will try and move him up. Tigers have their 4th hit. In fact, the Tigers have had the leadoff man on in 3 of 5 innings so far. He drills one towards center field. Kane is on the run and leaps and can't get it. It's all the way to the wall. Tuiasosopo comes around to score. Pena not only moves him up, he moves him in. Back-to-back doubles, and the Tigers have another run. 12th RBI of the year for the former Royal.
He gets himself a breaking ball or cutter that's at the top of the zone, gets on top of it, and he smokes it to center field. And Kane plays very shallow in center field because he has tremendous athleticism and speed, but not able to run this one down, and nearly made a spectacular catch.
Tigers with a couple of hits here in the 5th inning. Now they have a chance to get Pena in. It's 2-0 Detroit. Their first run since the 1st inning. Santiago had a single to start the 3rd, but then later was erased on a double play. And he bunts. Shields will go to first. Santiago advances the runner.
Tigers playing some small ball today. And Garcia led the game off with a double, and Torrey Hunter, the number 2 hitter, bunted him to 3rd, and Prince Fielder came up with a big base hit. And now it's Santiago getting the bunt down to get Pena over to 3rd.
And so it'll be Garcia to try and drive him in.
Kansas City Royals going to play their infield in on the right side. They're about a couple steps in back of the dirt on the left side. That would be the shortstop and the 3rd baseman, Escobar Moustakas.
Bouncing ball to 3rd, right at Moustakas. He'll check the runner. And Garcia is retired on 1 pitch. 2 outs. So that's going to leave it up to Torrey Hunter, and that'll relax the defense now with 2 away.
Torrey Hunter was hit his last time up by James Shields. You may remember about, I don't know, 10 days ago, 2 weeks, Torrey Hunter was hit by a fastball in that left elbow. And he proclaimed at the time that he was going to wear an elbow pad for the remainder of his career. Well, it didn't last very long.
He apparently changed his mind. Good stop there by Perez.
Some guys can wear those elbow pads, and some guys just don't like them. Miguel Cabrera used to wear a really big one, but he doesn't wear his anymore.
Never seemed to bother Barry Bonds.
Oh no, he could rake.
Here's the 1-0. Torrey chasing, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Tigers have been one of your better teams in baseball at driving in runs with 2 outs.
Now 1-2 on Hunter. Torrey sacrificed in the 1st, was hit by the pitch in the 3rd. Back-to-back 2-base hits here in the 5th inning, adding to the Tigers' lead. And a stroke to center field on a line straight at Kane to end the inning. So the Tigers settle for 1 run. They lead at 2-0. And you're watching Tigers baseball here today, presented by Bell Tire. fifth inning, Justin Verlander has a little bit more breathing room, and we look back at the 2011 season that we talked about, and Verlander and Shields were awfully good that year, and here's a comparison.
Well, apparently Tampa has the same issues at that time that this Kansas City Royals squad has. They weren't scoring very many runs for James Shields because he lost 12 games that year with a 2.82 ERA.
And so far today, they've managed, the Royals have only one hit against Verlander. Mike Moustakas is starting things off. Then Elliott Johnson and Alcides Escobar, the bottom three in the lineup for Ned Yost today. A couple of walks and a single, the only base runners for the Royals this afternoon. Verlander continues his mastery in this ballpark. Here's the 0-1. Fouled back 0-2 on Moustakas. We've talked about this, Rod, but now you're getting about midway through the month of June. Moustakas, his batting average is 181. Where do you go from here with him?
Well, it kind of depends on what they have in the minor leagues. If they have nobody down in the minor leagues that can come up and help them, then they have to stick with Moustakas, hoping that he could get back to the success that he had last year. They know he's a really good defender, so he helps them out in that regard, but sooner or later he's going to have to hit if he's going to stay up here.
Moustakas on pace for just 10 homers and 31 RBIs this year. They hit 20 home runs last season. The 1-2 is a shade off the plate.
And Dayton Moore, their general manager, made a shrewd move in the offseason when he acquired Wade Davis and James Shields from the Tampa Bay Rays. He might have to go back out there and do something else to help this offense out at the trade deadline if they're still in this thing.
Well, their bullpen is great. Their whole staff leads the league in ERA, so the pitching has gotten it done. But in order to challenge against teams obviously like Detroit, the offense is going to need an upgrade. Or, as we talked about, guys like Hosmer and Moustakas pick it up. 2-2. Now 3-2. Verlander has fallen behind. It wasn't long ago that Moustakas was the minor league player of the year 2010 when he knocked in 124 runs.
Hit 36 big flies that year.
(3-2) to center field. There's a base hit. Only the second of the game for the Royals. A leadoff single in the fifth.
Verlander's best fastball today has been in the mid-90s. He's gone as low as 75 with a changeup or a curveball. Those readings always courtesy of Xfinity.
Here's Elliott Johnson. Strike one to Johnson. Hit the ball on the ground his first time up. Now 2 for his last 29. Tigers starting pitching with a quality start in 17 of the last 18 games. Verlander trying to get that accomplished here again this afternoon, but they also lead the American League. The starters do with 32 victories. Ball high, 1 ball, 1 strike.
The Tigers have a chance of having 4 guys in the All-Star game. That would be Verlander, Scherzer, Pfister, and Anibal Sanchez. It'll be tough, but they're all deserving.
And ironically, the guy in that group that has the highest ERA is Verlander. And that's at 3.71, but it is sinking here today. One and 2 on Elliott Johnson. pulled. Oh, and it's caught by Prince Fielder, who steps on the bag for a double play. Look what he found.
No, that ball caught Prince.
Oh, my goodness.
That's the second really good play we've seen today out of the first baseman in this game. He's holding Moustakas on at first base, and Johnson gets out in front of one and smokes it right at Prince, and he snatches it out of the air.
Check this out.
Some of that mixed martial arts paying off that Prince does in the offseason. Real nice, quick reactions.
2 out, nobody on. That'll bring up Alcides Escobar. Ball 1 to Escobar. Well, Hosmer made a nice play earlier. Now Prince at first base. That ball as well was headed to the corner. Here's the 1-0. Escobar cuts and misses.
Real nice luxury to have if you're Jim Leland, to have a couple of guys on the corners that play every single day. Prince Fielder, over 400 consecutive games the last few years. Miggy averages about 158 games a year.
Here's the 1-1. Off the end of the bat, nubbed. And the second baseman, Santiago, throws him out. And just like that, the inning is over. We have played 5 here in KC today. The Tigers up by 2. Sitting now at Kauffman Stadium here in Kansas City. Don't know if you've had a chance to see or if you've heard, but the Tigers on the cover of Sports Illustrated have their 2 stars adorning the cover, so that'll be an interesting piece to pick up.
Have to get one of those.
The Bash Bros. Fielder and Cabrera on the cover of SI. And here is Miguel starting things off in the 6th. He'll be followed by Fielder and then Victor Martinez. And Shields starts him off with a breaking ball strike, 0-1. Shields' pitch count, pretty good shape, 66 through 5. As he goes to work here in the 6th. Here's the 0-1. Down the right field line, heading back to the seats. No balls, 2 strikes. We were talking earlier, last half inning, about Cabrera and Fielder playing every day. It's days like these where managers will use to maybe rest one of their big stars. Sunday day games, especially when it's as hot as it is today. But neither one of these guys come out of the lineup. In fact, Fielder, who is on deck, is playing in his 407th consecutive game.
And you know the opposing managers and the opposing pitchers that will face them on any given day game, they're hoping that one of these guys will sit down.
It just never happens. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss, and Shields takes care of Cabrera. Got him this time. One gone here in the sixth. Three strikeouts for Shields. He's going to bring up Fielder. Prince drove in a run back in the first. That made it 1-0. His 52nd RBI of the year. And they basically invite him to hit the ball to left field or down the third base line. Moustakas way off the line.
He will hit the ball down that way, especially with 2 strikes.
He went the other way to drive in a run back in the first. Here's the 1-0. 1-1 on Fielder.
Prince has tremendous numbers this year against left-handed pitching, and the reason for that is he takes batting practice every single day, early batting practice against a left-handed BP pitcher.
Big swing there, 1-2.
And really, no one works as hard as Prince. So you get to the clubhouse early, he's always in the weight room on the elliptical or the bicycle, always sweating before the game even starts. Then he goes out and plays 9 innings every night.
Here's the 1-2 offering. Well, you wonder, of the 407 consecutive games he has played in now, how many of them have been on days like today, where it's a day game after a night game, it's blazing hot, temperature in the mid-90s.
Or even night games where you really don't feel like going out there and performing.
You mean you don't feel 100% every day?
So, no.
Not in this game, for sure. Shields sizing up a 1-2 pitch. And he missed outside with it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. .75 now for Shields, 46 strikes. Big game James, they called him in Tampa, brings it home, and it's hit in the air. Shallow left center field, and it's going to drop between a trio of Royal defenders. Second blue hit for Prince Fielder in this game. Well, you saw the most recent cover of SI with Cabrera and Fielder. How about this one back in 1956? Harvey Keenan K-Line on the cover of Sports Illustrated. 2 great Tigers. Here's Victor Martinez. A tough day for Victor. A double play ball and a strikeout. Shields got him swinging back in the 4th. Only 3 strikeouts so far for Shields. 1-1. Victor really hasn't had a big series, but by and large, Rod, he's been swinging the bat a lot better. Have you seen anything or any difference maybe in the late month of June as opposed to early April and early May?
It appears that he's trusting his hands a little bit more. And when you take an entire year off, as Victor did last year, it's not the easiest thing to come back and perform at the level that he was performing at in 2011 before the knee injury. But it appears now that he's staying back, using his legs a little bit better, therefore creating a lot more bat speed than he was the first couple of months of the season.
Trusting your hands, that's a term that hitting instructors use a lot. What does that mean exactly?
Well, when you got your body in a really good position, from the waist down, you're stable, good balance, your hands work a lot more efficiently. And when you're out in front of everything with that front foot and you're lunging toward the pitcher, your hands aren't going to work as quickly for you.
You sound like you've done this before.
A little bit.
The 1-2 is in the air toward left. That'll back up Gordon, still going back. Warning track in front of the wall to make the catch. Ball carried. 2 gone.
It's a big ballpark, but the ball does travel when it gets hot here and it travels in the daytime, but Gordon able to run that one down.
We'll bring up Johnny Peralta. Tigers have 6 hits in this one, and the Royals have but 2. It's yet another game that's probably going to go down to the wire here. The Tigers and Royals have played a pair of 1-run games to start the series. Johnny takes ball 1 outside. Shields gave up a single to Fielder in the first to drive in a run, and then the Pena double in the 5th. Tigers had back-to-back doubles in the 5th. Inside, 3-0 on Peralta. Johnny came in 3rd in the American League in hitting. He had been right behind Miguel Cabrera for a couple of days, was 2nd in the league in hitting. Chris Davis has snuck back into that 2 spot, at least at the beginning of play today. There's a strike, 3-1. There you go.
That's a shocker. Joe Mauer's on that list.
Cabrera still has a 30-point lead, or near 30-point lead. Here's the 3-1. Ball high, walked it. 2 on now for the Tigers, which brings us back to our AT&T trivia question today. Who won the first Negro League World Series in 1924? Who did they defeat? And your answer is that would be the Kansas City Monarchs. They defeated the Hilldale Giants, who later became known as the Daisies. What do you got on the Daisies?
I don't have anything on those. I know all about those Kansas City Monarchs, though. Satchel Paige. Take a look at how sharp the people were in the stands back in those days.
Oh, that was a different time.
It was a party to go to the ballpark.
Well, could you imagine wearing a 3-piece suit on a day like today at the ballpark?
They were looking good, though.
Probably weren't feeling too good. Here's Tuiasa Sopo. The man had a double to start things off in the 5th. And a ball inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, we continue to be extremely impressed with Matt Tuiasa Sopo. 1 for 2 today. His on-base percentage is in the upper 4s. He's walked quite a bit. 15 base on balls this year. Offensively, has performed extremely well. And you talk about how when you're a part-time player, it's difficult to stay in a groove. And aside from BP, how many other things can you do?
Well, you just got to do a lot of work. You got to be the first one at the ballpark. You got to live in that cage. You got to watch video. And when you get out in the outfield, you got to play like it's game situation when the other guys are taking batting practice. It's not the easiest thing to do, but if you could master it and you could hit like Tuiasa Sopo's been hitting this year, you can carve out a really nice career for yourself.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, he's given Leland a lot of confidence in putting him out there. And again, he'll start probably in that game on Friday night against Minnesota. Scott Diamond, the left-hander, going in that game. And part of the reason Jim put him out there today was he wanted to get him some at-bats before that start. Swing and a miss. This time he goes down on strikes. Shields pitching out of the jam here in the 6th inning. We go to the bottom of the 6th in a 2-0 ball game. Enjoy a cold one to look forward to. Miller time later in today's game is brought to you by Miller Lite. On a day like today, when you wear the tools that the catchers do, even the home plate umpire, how to lose a pound or two.
I'm sure Verlander's had to change his jersey at least once this afternoon.
Well, Verlander now is going to have to face the top of the lineup here in the 6th inning. Gordon, Hosmer, Perez. 2 runs, 6 hits for Detroit. No runs, 2 hits for the homestanding Royals. Walk and a pop-up for Gordon. Ball 1 missed away. Justin now with his 5 scoreless innings to this point has lowered his ERA to 3.49. And he'll try and keep it going here in the 6th. Missed it outside, 2-0. You were talking about how a lot was expected out of this rotation coming into the season. Did you think it would be this good?
No, I did not think they'd be performing at this level. Because as good as Sanchez was down the stretch for the Tigers, I had no idea he was as good as he has been the first couple of months of the season. Max has been out of this world so far this year. You pretty much knew what you're going to get out of Fister and also Justin Verlander. And I'm not saying the other 2 guys weren't good pitchers, but they are performing at an extremely high level right now.
And the other thing is Porcello now has his ERA down to 4.86, which is still a little bit higher than obviously you want, but coming from where it was, he's been good. Here's a strike call, 3-2.
A lot of staffs in baseball, Porcello would be number 2, number 3 starter on their team. He'd be a number 1 guy in the Houston Astros.
Here's the 3-2 coming home. The other thing is you have depth as well with Drew Smiley pitching out of the bullpen. So right now the Tigers really love what's going on in terms of their starting pitching. And here are the ranks in the American League. At or near the top in all of those. Gordon fouls off another.
And Justin's going to need some help out of that bullpen today. He's already at 94 pitches, no outs here in the 6th inning.
Well, it looked early on like he might stay a while with only 7 pitches thrown in that first frame, but a swing and a miss gets Gordon. They have started to pile up in the interim, though. Hey, the Tigers welcome the Orioles to Comerica Park June 17th through the 19th. Tickets available for all 3 games. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. Manny Machado, Matt Wieters, and the rest of the Orioles coming in.
Yeah, real good change up here to finish off. And the leadoff hitter, Alex Gordon.
Meanwhile, Hosmer hits one in the air to right. And camping under it is Torrey Hunter for the out, 2 gone. Six strikeouts this afternoon for Justin. Here's Salvador Perez. Hit the ball hard his first time up, lined out to center field. And then Perez flying out to center in the 4th. 2-0 Tigers lead. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning here in KC. Here is Verlander's 1-0. 1 ball, 1 strike. In that series coming up against the Minnesota Twins. Got Porcello in that first game against Scott Diamond. And then Sanchez and Fister will pitch the last 2 games. That's pulled towards short, out of the reach of Johnny Peralta. It's a 2-out single for Salvador Perez. It's just the Third hit of the afternoon for KC, and it's going to bring out that guy again. Here goes Billy Butler. Single and a walk. Average 271. Swing and a miss. Verlander says, here's 96. Go for it.
And you don't usually see Billy Butler leave the strike zone like he left the strike zone on that first swing, but he must have had an idea that he was going to get the fastball from Verlander and committed even before the ball left Justin's hand.
One ball, one strike.
Verlander throwing that slider real hard today. 88, 89 miles an hour. Usually when he throws that pitch, he's 84, 85. He's got better depth when he stays down around the mid 80s with the slider.
Wow. Butler out in front. And it's 1-2. Swing and a miss to strike him out. This time Verlander gets a victory against Butler. 7 strikeouts. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. JV is fan 7.
Billy Butler had a .418 career batting average against Verlander with 55 at-bats. He got out single his first time up, but then Verlander pitched him very tough the last time out. Good changeups, good breaking balls. Then his last time up, Verlander started him off with fastballs, and he went to a couple different sliders, and then he finished him off with some nice cheddar upstairs.
So the Tigers holding on to their 2-0 lead. Verlander striking out Billy Butler.
If that last pitch was Verlander's last of the day, it was 97 miles an hour to Billy Butler. His best fastball of the afternoon.
I think JV was bound and determined to win that battle, and he did. So here are the Tigers now in the 7th inning. Brian Pena leads it off. Pena doubled in a run back in the 5th, giving the Tigers their 2nd run of the game. We've only had 9 hits between the two squads.
Kansas City Royals going to do something really cool when they take off for their road trip after this game. They're going to have a dad's trip.
Really?
All the dads and all the sons that are 18 years or older are going to get a chance to go on the private plane with them.
Nice.
And just kind of hang with their boys. 2-city trip too. That's really cool.
Have you heard of that before?
Never heard of a dad's trip.
I know the Red Wings have done that, and That's a great idea. I've not heard of that in the big leagues. Drew Smyly starts to warm up. Pena looks at a strike on the outside corner.
I guess it's a wonderful gesture with Father's Day coming up here on Sunday.
No doubt. Did you make out your Father's Day present list yet?
Not yet.
I'm working on mine too. Here's the 2-2. Little looper back short. There's another hit for Brian Pena.
Stop it, Brian.
He is 2 out of 3. Tigers have had a few bloop hits in this game, but they'll count. That is the 7th Detroit hit.
And he just shows up every time he gets an opportunity. You talked about the fact of how much Avila's helped him with learning the pitching staff. Pena, one of those guys that I always see watching video of the pitchers that are going to pitch that night, just to get a feel for what worked for that current pitcher the last time they were out there, even if he didn't catch them.
Or as Brian likes to say, if you're not an everyday player, preparation becomes a key and critical for you to have success. And he is as prepared as they come. Here's Santiago. Runner going on a hit and run. Jim trying to get something started here.
Well, Jim trying to score a few more runs, because every time these two teams hook up, the games are very close games, highly contested ball games. And he'd like a little bit more margin for error for that bullpen when Justin does turn it over.
0-1. Santiago had a sacrifice in the 5th inning. Also had a base hit earlier in the game. Showing bunt, puts one down first base side. Hosmer will handle it, and Johnson will cover the bag at first. Another sacrifice for Santiago. Here's what you're talking about since the start of last season. Look at all of these close games.
They play the Tigers tough.
Tigers, fortunately, though, have won 15 of those. This has been a tight series history the last couple of years. Now we'll see if Garcia can get the run in. Javi Sail had a double and scored a run in the first. He's 1 for 3.
Garcia celebrating his 22nd birthday, if you weren't with us at the top of the show.
Native of Venezuela. Here's the 1-0 pitch. 2 balls and no strikes. 2-7-0 for the Tigers. 0-3-0 for the Royals. The series finale here. Tigers trying to take 2 out of 3 and then go to Minnesota and win another series there. Ball high. 3-0. Sweeps are nice, and the Tigers got one against the Cleveland Indians, but I think you get to this point in the year, Rod, where you're looking to win series and just pile up wins and start to put some room between yourselves and the rest of the division.
And no doubt. Might see a green light here from Garcia if Shields throws him a fastball.
That's in for a strike. 3-1. Tigers, as you look at the ratio on Shields now with 101 pitches. Tigers got a run in the first and 1 in the 5th. Trying to tack on 1 here in the 7th. Another strike, 3-2.
James Shields has to be saying to himself, okay, boys, it's not funny anymore.
No, it's not. Give me some runs.
He is not getting any run support this year.
Three-2. Swing and a miss. Garcia is handled. And there are 2 outs. Let's go back to the studio now for a game break. Shannon Hogan. All right, Shannon, thank you. Here the Tigers holding on to a 2-0 lead as Hunter stands in now, and Torrey looks at ball 1. We want to send our best wishes out to Ryan Field, who had his final show this year today for Fox Sports Detroit, heading to Fox Sports 1.
He signed off today?
I think he signed off today. At least I hope he did, because I'm telling everybody he did. There's a ball outside. 2-0 the count. But we will definitely miss Ryan. He's off to California, L.A., and I'm sure he will do extremely well there. So good luck, Brian Field. Hunter with a sacrifice, hit by pitch, and a line out. Now Torrey steps out on Shields.
A lot of young girls out there are going to have to take those Ryan Field posters off the wall.
I didn't know they existed. Here's the 2-0. High 3-0. Tigers got a leadoff single by Pena. He's standing at second with 2 outs. Trying to get that 2-out run. And it's in for a strike, 3-1. Torrey this year with 24 driven in. That'll go foul. 3-2 now on Hunter, with Cabrera waiting on deck. Shields now at 108 pitches in this game. 108. 111 his last start. He's gone at least 100 in every start this year. He has thrown as many as 122. We talked about how much of a horse he was in Tampa, and last year 227 innings. Third highest total in the American League. Two guys going today in Verlander and Shields that are considered the ultimate workhorses. Bouncing ball foul, third base side. Breaking ball, and he got him. Hunter swings through it. Strike 3. Tigers done in the 7th. Stretch time coming up. And hot and steamy KC is 2-0 Detroit. On Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by 5-Hour Energy Shots. Back here in Kansas City, City of Fountains here. 2-0 is our score. The Tigers have the lead as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Get ready, fans, for Fox Sports 1, America's new 24-hour sports network. Fox Sports 1 will be your home for great live sports, all the news and highlights you want, and shows and specials that only Fox could bring you. America's new sports network is Fox Sports 1, coming August 17th. Todd Kelly has entered the ballgame now. He'll play left field. Tuiasosopo is out of the game. Verlander is still out there. He will answer the bell here in the 7th, leading 2-0.
Apparently that last fastball he threw to Billy Butler to end the bottom half of the 6th inning, that was 97 miles an hour, wasn't his last pitch of the afternoon, but it's one of the things that is most impressive about Justin Verlander. One of the few guys in the game that can go from 92 to 100 miles an hour in consecutive pitches.
Lorenzo Cain has seen enough of Verlander today. 2 at-bats, 2 strikeouts. 7 total for Justin. Here's the 1-1. Foul back 1-2. Cain will be followed by Lowe and then Moustakas. Action in the Detroit bullpen features Drew Smyly, who has been throwing, and Luke Peconin. Tigers last night had Benoit pitch the 8th, Valverde pitched the 9th in protecting that 1-run lead. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss, and the miserable day continues for Cain. 3 punch-outs. 8 of them now for JV.
Boy, can he locate that fastball in the mid-90s. Great delivery. He gets to a really good balanced position with that front leg, which allows the arm to get on top. Throws straight downhill. Nearly a perfect delivery for Justin Verlander.
David Lowe. I think the delivery is part of the reason why he's been so durable over the years.
Oh, for sure. He works extremely hard in getting the legs in shape in Florida in January, where a lot of guys are still kind of hunting and golfing and different things like that. Not that he doesn't do the golfing thing, but he's getting himself prepared for 200 innings, which he's done 6 consecutive years.
0-2 on David Lowe. Ground out, strikeout. And the 0-2. Verlander has won 4 straight. Last loss was in the middle of May, and that was a 10-4 loss to the Rangers in Texas. Ground ball right by Verlander, but Santiago backs him up. Lowe is out, 2 away. Now Mike Moustakas. Verlander's high water mark for pitches this year is 126. He did that in Seattle way back in April. That 111 right now, in good shape and leading 2-0. 2 outs here in the 7th.
How about you? I got one hard hit ball today off the bats of the Kansas City Royals. That ball that Moustakas hit to Prince Fielder that turned into a double play.
I can't find any more. Any that jump out at you at least. Maybe that ball that Cain hooked down the line foul.
That doesn't count.
Why? Because it was foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. There's got to be another one. Let me see.
No, there's not.
All right, I'll stop looking then. 1-1 on Moustakas. They hit a couple of balls hard in BP. I saw that. 1-2.
Verlander's just kind of feeling it. You've seen all his pitches in this inning. The changeup, the fastball, mid-90s. That curveball right there.
Moustakas in staying alive mode there. Fouled that one off on the ground. Two out, nobody on, seventh inning. Tigers got one in the first, one in the fifth, and so far that has been good enough. Only 3 hits allowed by Verlander. Fouled away. We talked about all his really good numbers against the Royals over the years. You would think there would be 1 or 2 starts through the years where he just wouldn't have it, would struggle against a certain team, but it really has never happened against these Royals.
15-2. And nearly 4 strikeouts for every walk against them.
9-2 in this ballpark. Bouncing ball to short. Johnny has it there. And Verlander has a 1-2-3 7th inning. He has been absolutely dominant in this ball game today. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire. As we amble to the 8th inning, Verlander 7 innings, 3 hits, 8 strikeouts in this one. James Shields again getting no support, even though he's given up 2 earned runs. 8th start that he's done that this year. And the Tigers role players, this is a good stat on the bottom here. Tuiasosopo, Pena, Santiago all chipping in today, which is good to see. And we've got a new pitcher now. Wallside Windows pitching change. The Royals go to the bullpen. Shields is out and Tim Collins is in.
3rd consecutive day that we have seen Collins. He checks in with a 2-1 record. Really good earned run average. 19 strikeouts in 21 innings. He's got a fastball that goes from 93 to 95, and he's got an outstanding breaking ball.
So Collins facing the middle of the Tigers lineup here. It'll be Cabrera, Fielder, Martinez. Tigers 2 runs, 7 hits. Royals no runs, 3 hits. And a ball inside to Cabrera as we start the 8th inning this afternoon. Miguel is hitless so far, had a base on balls in the first. But David Lowe took a double away from him with a tumbling catch back in the 3rd.
And one of the best catches you'll see today.
Ball outside, 2-0. Now 3-0 on Cabrera.
Miggy's already had 1 3-0 count in the game today. It was his first at bat with a runner in scoring position, and he swung at that 3-0 pitch when James Shields was on the mound.
He'll take this one. 3-1. Collins, by and large, has done good work against Detroit in his career. 1.42 ERA and a swing and a miss.
Good change piece there by Tim Collins.
Back in the count now, 3-2. Here it is. And he lost him anyway. Second walk of the day for Miguel.
And we were talking about this, so we decided to make it our big boys big play of the game. And it was Miguel earlier in the game against Shields, and low in right field goes over and makes a spectacular catch. We thought the ball flew out of his glove, but those were the glasses that flew up in the air up low. Look at him.
Yeah, I had that ball as a double and an RBI.
Can you imagine doing that with your body at our age?
No. Well, the only difference is Lowe got up. We would not have gotten it. Prince Fielder, the batter. 471 now after a Miguel Cabrera walk. That floats in for a strike, and now it's 0-2 on the Prince.
He has one homer against Collins. It always appears that Ned Yost brings in Collins to face Prince Fielder.
Tigers have done a pretty good job of getting the leadoff man on. They have done so in 5 of the 8 innings so far in this game. Fielder 2 singles and an RBI. 52 driven in, 4th in the American League. Here's the 0-2.
Talking about Prince a little earlier in the game and the fact that he takes batting practice every single day off of the left-handed BP pitcher. And 362 for Prince. 4 homers this year against lefties. 250 against righties. You don't see that every day. Those types of splits.
Not that high. Just off the plate, Collins thought he had it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Off the plate again. 2-2.
He takes ownership of that batter's box as well as any big left-hander in the game. Keeps that left shoulder kind of locked and loaded. Doesn't give an inch. Therefore gets hit quite often on fastballs inside.
And again he missed outside. 3-2. Collins walking Cabrera, falling behind Fielder. He has Martinez on deck in a 2-0 game.
We'll see if Jim decides to allow Miggy to vacate first base here on the 3-2 pitch from Collins.
He does not, and it's fouled back. Victor waiting on deck. Royals have some activity in their bullpen. Luke Hochevar is warming up. We were talking about this earlier. It's kind of funny coming to KC and not seeing Hochevar make a start or Bruce Chen make a start.
They were their top 2 starters last year. Now both are pitching in long relief with the revamped starting rotation built by Dayton Moore, their general manager. Santana came from the Angels. Shields and Davis from the Tampa Bay Rays.
And he walked him, and so Collins walks the first 2 batters in this inning. Great opportunity now for the Tigers to build on this 2-0 lead. And Yost can't be too happy about that. Now Victor Martinez. It's funny, the best crowd of the series has come on a day game here in KC. 24,000 plus. There are the base runners, Cabrera and Fielder. Victor in the game is 0 for 3. And he sends one foul back into the seats. 0-1. $24,564 is the actual attendance on a warm, hot day here in Kansas City. Ball inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. $17 now for Collins, and more of them have missed the strike zone than have actually hit. There's the strike call. One and two. Again, this Royals bullpen has been one of the best in the American League this year. The Tigers finally got to them in last night's game. They had gone 21 1/3 scoreless. Swing and a miss, and Martinez is out on strikes. First out of the inning, and the first strikeout for the lefty Collins.
And Collins usually gets most of his strikeouts on the breaking ball, but that was the palm ball there, and then he got Victor Martinez to swing over the top of.
So another wall side windows pitching change. Collins will depart with 2 men on. Luke Hochevar coming in from the Royals bullpen, and we will be back.
One that was awfully special, and it happened on the road, and it happened right here in Kansas City, the final game of the year, when it became official that Miguel Cabrera was going to win the Triple Crown. This Kansas City Royals crowd of 32,000, and keep in mind 15,000 were walk-ups that day. They gave Miguel Cabrera a really nice standing ovation, and something that he said he really didn't think about until he got back to Miami in the offseason, and really appreciated the gesture here by the fans showing him that kind of love.
One of the lasting memories of the 2012 season. Luke Hochevar coming out of the bullpen now for the Royals. Johnny Peralta stands in. 2 men on, 1 man out. And he popped him up. Shallow right field. Johnson going back. Lowe coming in. Lowe makes the catch.
Not only did the fans give Miggy a really nice applause, but the entire Kansas City Royals dugout, led by their manager, Ned Yost, they were all up and clapping themselves.
Well, and something hasn't been done since 1967, as you look at the numbers on Hochevar. It really is something that deserves recognition, and Cabrera got plenty of it. even from the visiting fans. First at bat of the ballgame for Don Kelly. Came on as a defensive replacement for Tuiasa Sopo. That's in there for a strike. Yikes, look at this. 467 with runners in scoring position.
My God.
Holy cats. Here's the 0-1. Kelly sends a ground ball back up the middle. Escobar ranging behind the bag. Throws to first in time.
He's got some tremendous range at that shortstop position. Maybe the best in the American League.
Top of the 8 is over. We go to the bottom of the 8th.
Point here this afternoon against the Kansas City Royals. Only 3 hits. He threw 117 total pitches. He was 16 of 25 in first pitch strikes. He mixed in all of his pitches early in the game, whether it was the mid-90s fastball, the curve, the slider, or the changeup. And for the second consecutive day, Tigers starters gave up 3 hits to this Kansas City Royals offense.
So Verlander was outstanding again here this afternoon, and so he will turn things over to the bullpen now as Drew Smiley will take over.
And good numbers out of that bullpen this year for Drew Smiley, whether Jim Leland has used him in the 5th or 6th inning or he has used him very late in games like today in the 8th. 2-0 with a 193 earned run average.
.39 strikeouts tied for first among American League relievers. And so Smiley goes to work against a pinch hitter. How about this name? Miguel Tejada comes off the bench. He'll bat for Elliott Johnson. Tejada first broke into the big leagues in 1997 with the Athletics. And he takes strike 1. He has piled up some career numbers, man. 306 homers. Not a bad 285 batting average. Here's the 0-1. Tejada sends it back at the screen, 0-2.
I first saw Miguel Tejada. It was in 1996. I was working for the Arizona Diamondbacks at the time. And we hadn't started playing yet. And I was doing some scouting. I went to a spring training game, and he was one of those kids that came over from the Oakland minor league complex. Forget what number he had, but it was probably 89, 95 or something like that. And Rafael Carmona was pitching for the Seattle Mariners and threw him a slider at about 87 miles an hour that was down around his shoe tops on the outside black, and he took it and hit it about 400 feet for a home run to left center field.
Line drive to right field, and Hunter's going to have to play it on one hop.
And you should have seen all the scouts that were there and trying to find out exactly who this young man was that have come over from the minor league system. And of course, Miggy has gone on to have a tremendous career.
Oakland, Baltimore, Houston, San Diego, San Francisco among his stops as Pekonen and Koch warm up. That is the 4th hit of the game, and for as dominant as Verlander was today, it's only a 2-0 ball game.
Nothing new between these two clubs.
Escobar stands in as the tying run at the plate here in the 8th.
Be careful if you're Smiley and you decide to throw him a first pitch fastball.
He did, but he missed way up with it. 1-0.
That's what you have to do. You have to make it look like it's going to be a strike to entice Escobar into swinging. He hits 436 on first pitches.
0 for 2 in this game. Ground ball to short. Peralta fires to second. One relay is in time. A double play. That'll come in handy. 6-4-3. Don't forget, as soon as this one ends, our coverage continues with Tigers Live. You'll hear from the skipper, Jim Leland, all the players as well. We'll show you the highlights. Coming up after this one is done, Tigers Live from the Call Sam studios.
Well documented the fact that the shortstop on the other side, Escobar, has mad range, but I'll take that guy all day, every day, that catches everything that's hit to him and throws accurately to whether he be starting a double play or throwing the ball across the diamond, and that would be Johnny Peralta.
Now the top of the order, Alex Gordon.
Johnny Peralta and J.J. Hardy the last couple of years, probably your most consistent shortstops at making all the routine plays.
Big rip there by Gordon. Well, Jim Leland, I think, said it most succinctly the other day. He said, if there's a ball hit to an infielder in the 9th inning, I want it hit to Johnny Peralta. He has been absolutely consistent and started that 6-4-3. It's back out of play. Now it's 1-2.
J.J. Hardy, sorry about that. J.J. Hardy, when we last checked, is leading at the shortstop position for the starter at the All-Star game. But you know Johnny Peralta is going to get a lot of consideration with the numbers he's posted this year on both sides of the ball.
Fouled back. So the numbers that Gordon had against the lefty Smiley, he has faced him 6 times, 4 times, and it resulted in a strikeout.
Smiley's been death on left-handers this year overall.
Here's the 1-2. Off the plate. Barely. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gordon pop-up walk strikeout. He is trying to get it to Eric Hosmer, who's on deck in a 2-0 game in the 8th. Here's the 2-2. Drew Smiley has done some outstanding work out of the Detroit bullpen. Did not win the starting job for the number 5 spot in the rotation. That went to Porcello, but Drew has found an itch right now in the big leagues in the bullpen. The future, though, will certainly, almost certainly, see him in the rotation. Long term. 3-2. And a bouncing ball to short. Right there is Peralta. His throw is in time. And that is that. Smiley gets through the 8th, which means we go to the 9th. And it's still 2-0 Detroit. Tigers are up 2-0. 2 runs on 7 Detroit hits, no runs on 4 hits for Kansas City. And the Tigers have an opportunity to win 2 out of 3 in this series before they head to Minnesota. Tigers will bat here in the 9th, and they send up Brian Pena to lead things off. Pena, Santiago, and then Avisail Garcia. Luke Hochevar came on in the 8th inning, got the final 2 outs, and the big right-hander is out there for the 9th. Pena's had a nice day, 2 hits and an RBI. Ball 1 high and away.
And equally as important as the 2 knocks he's gotten today. Well, he led Justin Verlander beautifully for 7 innings, and no drama there in the 8th. And for Smiley.
Ground ball right side, straight at Hosmer. And Pena's retired. He is 2 for 4 today, 1 gone. Tejada remains in the game. Here is Santiago. Ramon, a couple of sacrifices today. And chops that one foul. Really not a whole lot of scoring to talk about this afternoon. Prince Fielder had a 1-out bloop single to drive in a run in the 1st inning, and then a double by Pena after a double by Tuiasosopo in the 5th. 2-0. Verlander has done the rest along with Smiley. Strike called, and the count now on Santiago is 0-2. Hosmer, Perez, Butler will be the 3 hitters in the 9th for KC. The 0-2 is strike 3 called. Santiago is caught looking. Hochevar has his first strikeout, 2 away. Santiago thought that might have been a touch outside. Here's Garcia. 1 for 4 today for Garcia. A double and a run scored. Oh, 0-1. A 2-base hit by Garcia in the 1st inning runs his hitting streak to 8 straight games. Bouncing in.
And the skipper, Jim Leland, pushed all the right buttons today against James Shields. He started Garcia. He also started Tuiasosopo. They scored the only 2 runs of the afternoon for the Tigers. James Shields came in with a .273 batting average against right-handed batters, under 200 against left-handers.
Tried to hold up, but he went around.
Tigers also had 3 sacrifice bunts in the game. They don't usually play that kind of baseball.
Not at all. It's typically get as many runners out as you can. Drive the ball in the gaps, drive it out of the ballpark. Small ball, big part of the win here today. If they get it. Here's the 1-2. Inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And today's game for the Tigers is more like the way that Kansas City plays the game.
Drew Smiley came on to get through the 8th. Valverde warming up right now, actually just kind of getting into a zone out there in the bullpen. Now Garcia steps out.
Valverde admitted yesterday after the game when talking to Trevor Thompson that he was a little nervous coming into that game yesterday because just about 2 weeks ago he blew a save in a Friday night game in Baltimore that Max was in line to win. But he got the save.
And Garcia, unable to hold up, strikes out. Hochevar fans a pair here in the ninth. So we need 3 more outs for a victory, and it's 2-0. Game by voting at Tigers.com or MLB.com. Vote up to 25 times until July 4th and catch the 84th Major League Baseball All-Star Game July 16th at 8 only on Fox. Well, it's last call time now for the Royals. We go to the bottom of the ninth. 2 runs, 7 hits for Detroit. KC, no runs, 4 hits. Drew Smiley is still out there. He will face Eric Hosmer to start things off, and a ground ball base hit to left. Big hole to the left side of the infield, and Hosmer takes advantage of it. Leadoff man is on. And Jim Leyland comes marching out.
And apparently that's what he was going to do all along, allow Smiley to face Hosmer, the left-hander, and then bring in Papa Grande and for Perez and Butler.
So Valverde makes his way in. We will make our way to a break. We will be back.
Let's take a look at the Jimmy John's freaky fast delivery of the game, and one of the few balls that were hit hard against Justin Verlander. As a matter of fact, the only ball that was hit hard against Justin Verlander today in his 7 innings of masterful work turned into a double play off the bat of Moustakas.
Well, it's going to be up to the Tiger bullpen to get Verlander a victory here today, or at least salt it away. The Tigers up by 2, but the leadoff man is on for the Royals, and here is Jose Valverde.
Excuse me, actually that was Elliott Johnson who hit that ball. Moustakas was on first base.
Valverde's 18th appearance, and he is trying to nail this one shut. 9 saves so far.
You don't usually see Jim start the inning with somebody else and then bring in Valverde. But it'll be interesting to see if that's what he had in mind all along.
So here is Salvador Perez. Single and a couple of flyouts.
The mindset for Valverde should be working at the bottom of the zone to see if you can get yourself a ground ball and allow this Tigers defense, which has been so good here today, to turn a double play and get 1 out closer, 2 outs closer to getting out of here today, and with a series win against the Royals.
Well, it was Smiley that got the double play back in the 8th after the leadoff single by Tejada.
Valverde had a good fastball last night. He got up to 94, touched 95 in last night's game. Also threw some good splitters.
Jose in the 9th inning last night gave up a leadoff single, but then got a strikeout, pop-up ground out. Tying run was at second base. High fly ball, right field. Torrey Hunter. What's Torrey doing?
It must be some sun up there. And that's the only thing I could think of. Obviously, he was waving with the right hand. He was telling him that he had it. And so he didn't want him coming over there running into him. But he's got those sunglasses on, and you kind of saw how he turned his body at the last moment there, waiting for the ball to come out of the sun.
So Valverde gets the first out. Here's Butler. Billy takes ball 1 inside.
And the way that Torrey played this ball actually is the way you're supposed to play it. Actually, take a look how he turns his body to the side. He's kind of waiting until the ball comes out of the sun, and then he makes the play. The key to doing that is to not panic. But so many outfielders, they panic when the ball goes in the sun, and that's when you see those pop-ups drop in the outfield.
Butler 2 out of 9 with 5 strikeouts against Valverde. He has also hit into 7 double plays this year. That's it for a strike.
Papa Grande struck him out last night on a 3-2 split-fingered fastball. That was a ball, but it was called a strike by the home plate umpire. And Jordan Baker, who was down at third base today, and Billy Butler got kicked out of the game.
The 1-1 off the mask. 1-2 on Butler.
Now here's that 3-2 pitch inside to Billy Butler.
He made it back to the dugout, but then eventually was tossed out.
Came charging out of the dugout.
Butler in the ballgame today has an infield single and a walk. Here's the 1-2. Missed it outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Verlander started. Went 7 innings through 117 pitches in this game. Smiley in the 8th. Smiley gave up a leadoff single here in the 9th, and Valverde trying to close it down.
Wonder why Ned Yost not pinch running Chris Getz for Hosmer. Hosmer does run well, but he's not the stolen base threat as Getz. Just by putting that guy on base that can really run would kind of get to Valverde a little bit.
Hosmer did have 16 swipes last year.
He can run, but not the same speed as Getz.
3-2. Runner going on 3-2, and it's fouled back. So Hosmer back in the bag. Butler this year with 5 home runs. He has knocked in 34. He is the tying run at the plate. Runner goes again, swing and a miss. Hosmer will get to second base standing up, but a strikeout of Butler is the second out.
Second consecutive day, 3-2 count. He gets Billy Butler last night. It was Billy Butler who took strike 3. Today, Billy climbed the ladder to get to a fastball. We've seen Billy leave the strike zone a few different times here today.
So is Lorenzo Cain. One out stands between the Tigers and a series win here at KC. Fouled back out of play, 0-1. If the Tigers do win this series, they will have done so with, get this, 4 for 24 with runners in scoring position in the series. And they've had to nurse a small lead all day long. Meanwhile, the Royals have finally gotten a runner to second base in this game, and that's Hosmer. Comes here in the 9th inning. Fouled away. Now the count is 0-2 on Lorenzo Cain. Valverde nods his head yes. 0-2 the count. And it's fouled away down the right field line. Cain this afternoon, 3 strikeouts. All of those at bats against Justin Verlander. In fact, he was Verlander's final strikeout of the day. JV finished with 8. And Verlander stands to win his 5th in a row if the Tigers can nail this one shut. The 0-2. Fly ball in the air. Left center field. That ball is hit well. Garcia going back. And that ball is gone. A home run. And we are tied at 2. Lorenzo Cain has just hit one out to left center. It carried. And it's a 2-2 game. Not to be believed. He was 0-2, and Cain comes back with a long ball.
Fastball belt buckle high that Cain was able to get to, and shocking here in Verlander's masterful start. It goes as a no decision now.
It was only the 3rd home run of the season for Lorenzo Cain. And he comes with 2 outs in the 9th to tie this game at 2. And a curtain call as well for Cain. Here's Lowe. Ball 1. David Lowe is 0 for 3. A couple of ground balls and a strikeout. A 2-out, 2-run shot by Kane. Bouncing ball to third. Dropped by Cabrera. And Lowe is aboard. He's the winning run now. That's an E5. Winning run on for Moustakas. So Valverde took a stunning loss against the Orioles, allowing the home run in the bottom of the ninth inning to Dickerson, which spoiled the great effort by Scherzer. And now a gem by Verlander will not result in a win for JV.
And the blown save here, stunning as well. And the Tigers defenders, on a very hot and humid day, were looking to get off the field. And you can see in everybody's body language out there right now, their heads are down. They're not feeling real good about what has transpired here.
Meanwhile, Jim Leyland wants the lefty to face Moustakas. So Valverde will not survive the ninth inning here. He came on with the leadoff single by Hosmer. Got 2 outs and then gives up a 2-run shot after getting ahead of Kane 0-2. Pitching change here in KC. We'll be back.
Got on the board first against James Shields. A base hit by Prince Fielder, which drove in Garcia. They also scored another run. That was in the 5th inning on a double off the bat of Brian Pena to play Tuiasa Sopo, and Justin Verlander was simply spectacular. 7 brilliant innings and was in line to win his 9th game of the year. And there is nothing more demoralizing than have your starter go out there and do what he did for 7 innings. Smiley pitch 1. And Papa Grande come in and give up the big home run to Lorenzo Cain.
Cain is all smiles. The Royals are fired up, and it's a 2-2 game as we play here in the bottom of the ninth. They have the winning run at first base.
And now the Tigers have to win the game somehow, some way.
Phil Koch coming out of the Detroit bullpen, facing Mike Moustakas. And the runner goes. They've got it picked off, but Chris dropped the baseball.
As I said before we went to break, the body language right now is just not real positive after that home run by Papa Grande and error by Miguel Cabrera. I don't know how they're going to rule that one, but the Tigers had been very good all day long. Base runner takes off. They may have had him. He had a pretty good jump there, but still tough to watch that home run there given up by Valverde.
E3 is the ruling. Pick off E3. So now the winning run is in scoring position. Moustakas against Koch. Well, the lefty hadn't bothered him at all. He's 3 for 7 against him. Fouled back out of play, 0-1.
If you're Coke and you decide to throw that breaking ball to Moustakas, you need to make sure that you bury it down and away from him. There's no doubt that Moustakas knows that one of the next couple of pitches he gets will be a breaking ball from Coke.
Here's the 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike on Moustakas. Meanwhile, Greg Holland, their closer, is heating up. 2-2 game. We're in the 9th. Boy, Moustakas 2 outs, men in scoring position, 0 for 18. Big swing there, and the count is 1-2. 95 from Coke. David Lowe, the winning run down at second. He reached down the air by Miguel Cabrera, advanced to second on a drop pickoff throw by Prince Fielder. Tigers have 2 errors in this inning. Trying to get it to the 10th at this point. And the 1-2. Popped him up. Shallow left field. Don Kelly coming in. And that is going to end the inning. But a stunning home run for Lorenzo Cain off Jose Valverde. And the rally barbecue sauce has worked today for the Royals. Long Jack Link's beef jerky. Feed your wild side. Well, we didn't expect to be in this position, but we are. So let's make the most of it. We'll see if the Tigers can go back ahead here in the 10th inning. It is a 2-2 ball game. 2-run homer by Lorenzo Cain off Jose Valverde with 2 outs and 2 strikes. In the 9th inning is tied it up. Greg Holland now will come out of the bullpen for KC.
He's their closer. 13 saves this year for Holland and 15 chances. 196 earned run average. Big fastball anywhere from 94 to 97, and some complimentary secondary pitches for their closer.
Torrey Hunter will start things off. Hunter Cabrera fielder in the Detroit 10th. So Verlander, who pitched well enough to get the win, will not get one, and Shields is taken off the hook. Tigers have 7 hits and the Royals have 6. There's a bouncing ball, first base side, foul. 0-2 on Torrey. Hunter today was hit by a pitch back in the 3rd. Otherwise, he is 0 for 2, has a sacrifice as well. Hunter stays alive. Torrey's still searching for homer number 300. This would be as good a spot as any. Holland's 0-2. Swing and a miss. Hunter down on strikes. One gone.
We told you at the top of the show that Miguel has done monster work here right at Kauffman Stadium. 365 average in 50 games. 11 homers. He's driven in 42, and a lot of those heroics have come very late in games. So let's see if Miggy's up for the challenge once again.
Here is Cabrera. Miggy on base twice in this one via a walk. Tips that one to the glove of Perez. 0-1. Ochaver came out of the bullpen for the Royals and faced 5 batters, got all 5 of them. And he hands the baseball over now to Holland here in the 10th inning. Here's the 0-1. Make it 0-2 on Miguel Cabrera. KC bullpen. 2.81 ERA coming into play this afternoon. They've been the best. Swing and a miss. Cabrera goes down on 3 pitches. A couple of strikeouts for Mr. Holland. MLB.com at bat is the #1 source for live baseball everywhere you go. Available for iPhone, iPad, Android, and even your BlackBerry 10. At Bat delivers Tigers baseball with live audio, pitch tracking, stats, news, highlights, and more. Text at BAT to 31826. Here comes Prince. 2 singles, a walk, and an RBI today. Strike 1.
And Holland started off Hunter and also Miggy with mid-90s fastballs. He throws a breaking ball in the first pitch to the left-hander, Prince Fielder.
Tigers this year have already played 8 extra inning games. They are 2-6. This will be their 9th today. The Royals have played 5. They are 4-1 in extra innings. Here's the 0-2. Bouncing in well in front of the plate as Prince skipping out of the batter's box. Tigers got 1 in the first, 1 in the 5th. And for a while there, it looked like it would be enough. Martinez waiting on deck. That is a line drive caught by the second baseman. Tejada had it played in the outfield grass, and that worked out. 1, 2, 3 go the Tigers. Become the Royals. So Kane, well, if you missed it, he hit a 2-run homer in the bottom of the ninth inning, tied up. The Royals bullpen, 3 innings, 5 strikeouts, no hits. It has really been a continuation of how they have pitched all season long. And the guy you feel bad for, well, it's got to be JV. 7 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 8 strikeouts, and a no decision in this one here today. Important thing is for the Tigers to get the win here this afternoon as we go to the bottom of the 10th. Miguel Tejada will be leading it off against Phil Koch, who had to come on in the bottom of the ninth to get the final out.
Phil Koch throwing very hard this afternoon. Several fastballs at 95 miles an hour, kind of looking like he did at the tail end of last season.
Tejada, Escobar, and Gordon. Tejada came on as a pinch hitter for Johnson in the 8th and singled, but did not score. "39 years old now, Miguel Tejada. Trying to get something started here in the bottom of the 10th. There's a strike 0-1. Smiley, Valverde, and Koch out of the Detroit bullpen today. Tejada has seen Koch once, 0 for 1 against him. Back up the middle, that's a base hit. So Tejada off the bench is 2 for 2, and your winning run is on now. See how they want to play with Escobar.
And Miguel Tejada on the backside of his career, but still busting it out of that batter's box. Already 3 sacrifice bunts this year for Escobar. He'll be looking to get number 4 here to get Tejada down in the scoring position.
Escobar hit into a double play his last time up. Trying to get that winning run to second base. Cabrera on the grass at third. And it's bunted. Back to the mound. Koch will take the out at first. Sacrifice advances the potential winning run Tejada to second base. And now the Royals have the top of the lineup coming up. Luke McConan heating up.
Good numbers for Phil Koch against Alex Gordon. 1 for 11, good for a 91 batting average.
Way outside, 1-0. Gordon is 0 for 3 with a walk. His splits, .395 against lefties.
Those kind of look like Prince Fielder splits.
I think it's the same thing. Out of the ordinary. Jim Leland pouring through the numbers right now.
He's looking at them same numbers.
Here's the 1-0. Make it 2-0 on Gordon.
You might want to throw a breaking ball here if you're Koch. Gordon, good fastball hitter. He's got a quick bat. If you throw it over the plate, he's going to make some contact. You also have a base open, and his run really means nothing. That would be Hosmer.
Two and 0 at Gordon. And a check swing outside. 3 balls, no strikes.
I like the pitch decision there. You didn't want to throw him a fastball there.
Koch came on to retire Moustakas with the winning run at second base in the 9th inning. Got Tejada as the winning run here in the 10th inning. In there is strike, 3-1. A strike called as Gordon thought he had ball 4 there, but it's full now, 3-2.
And Phil Koch went through the front door with that breaking ball. He hung it, but Gordon laid off of it. That's actually a really good pitch to hit if you're thinking about swinging the bat.
Off the upper reaches of the strike zone. Full count. And the 3-2. Bouncing ball right side. Prince has it. Well, retired Gordon advanced the runner to third. 2 outs, and it's up to Hosmer. He singled and scored ahead of the home run by Lorenzo Cain in the 9th. 2-7-2 for the Tigers, 2-7-0 for the Royals. 1 for 5 against Phil Koch. Winning run at third, that's Tejada. Hosmer looks at a strike, 0-1. Verlander struck him out a couple of times today. He was 0 for 3 against Verlander before getting the single against Smiley to start things off in the 9th. Now the 0-1. Ground ball back up the middle. That's going to be a game winner for Eric Hosmer, and the Royals stun the Tigers with a comeback win here today in KC.
Devastating loss this afternoon. Absolutely devastating.
It touches off the celebration for the Royals at second base. A ball hit right back up the middle. Hosmer with his second hit in as many innings. This one wins the ball game. KC with a run in the 10th. They got him with the barbecue sauce.
Hosmer got it going in the 9th inning with a base hit off Drew Smiley, the left-hander, and then he gets his first hit in his career against Phil Koch, now 1 for 6, and with a knock right back through the box. And the Royals celebrate.
And Hosmer, who has by and large not had the time to start that many had hoped, comes through with a huge 2-out single, and they celebrate here in KC. Final score, the Royals win this one in 10, 3-2.